Hi, my name is Margaret Cadiz, and I'm the program coordinator with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'd like to take a moment of your time to share a little bit about our program and how you can possibly get your child into our program, your student into our program, or even if you're a therapist hearing about us, maybe you can get one of your clients into our program. Big Brothers Big Sisters Hawaii creates life-changing friendships. We match youth in one-to-one friendships with mentors to encourage, model, and support good decisions and behaviors. Youth who have a positive adult or influence in their life are better able to reach their fullest potential. Our mentoring program helps Hawaii's children and teens grow socially, emotionally, and academically by providing the tools to achieve success in life and hope for a brighter future. We, we invite you to learn a little bit about our program so that you could possibly make a referral. At Big Brothers Big Sisters right now, we are following the state's guidelines. So when things are shut down, our bigs and littles are meeting virtually. They're playing games. They're asking each other questions and getting to know each other. They're showing each other parts of their house. They're introducing their bigs and their littles to their dogs, their fish, their guinea pigs. And it's a different dynamic, but what's really neat is they're getting to know each other really well. Who's eligible to become a little? Our littles are 6 to 16. We give priority to families who possibly live in poverty, have recently immigrated, a single parent, a deployed parent, a foster or incarcerated parent. That child can get a big brother or a big sister. We also give priority to children and youth that have been abused, neglected, or involved with the juvenile justice courts. Our littles come from all different walks of life. Doesn't matter if you have a lot of money, a little money, if you live in a shelter, if you live in a big, huge house. Everyone needs a friend, and every situation is different. Youth are typically in need of friendship, guidance, and self-enrichment. The littles must be able to go into an interview with our enrollment specialist and be able to answer questions. How it works is that if a parent is interested, they go on our website and they look up Big Brothers Big Sisters, and they can look and get a time for an inquiry, and they get an inquiry call. They're told about the program, and then they get an application sent to them. The parent fills out the application, and then we have 2 enrollment specialists, and they do an awesome job interviewing the parent and the child. We also ask for our school reports, and if the child is in therapy, we ask for a therapist report, parent signing consent forms. How does the interview work? Basically, right now, we are doing all of our interviews virtually, but when things ease up a little bit, we'll be back to in-person interviews, wearing masks, sitting 6 feet apart. The enrollment specialist will first talk to the child and see if they want a big brother or big sister. At times, parents think their child might want one, but we really encourage the parent to talk to the child before to make sure that the child really does want a big brother or a big sister. The child's interviewed asks a variety of questions about school, their weaknesses, their positives, what they love to do, what they wanted a big brother or big sister, what they'd want to do with their big brother, big sister, how they're adjusting to doing school online, etc. After the interview with the little, the enrollment specialist will then talk to the parent and find out about the family history and all the information that they need to know. It's really important that it's an in-depth interview because we want to match this child with the best volunteer we have out there. And we want to make sure that the child, that the volunteer knows the child so that they can focus on what the child might need. For example, we encourage goals, and let's say the child is super shy, the volunteer might work with the child on learning how to, when they first meet, they might have a little handshake together and get the child used to going out with the volunteer. And then the child makes a goal for the day. So we're always striving to do goals and to improve the child's self-esteem. Once the parent and the child are interviewed, our interviewer, our enrollment specialist will type up the interview and I will read it, and hopefully that child sounds like a great candidate for our program. The child will get accepted into our program. Then the child will go on a waiting list. What do we look for when we match our children? We look for compatibility with the volunteer. The child has to have certain criteria, such as the child needs to be on the island for at least the next 16 months. The match has to be 1 year at least. Let me tell you, we have some awesome matches that have been matched together for 8, 9, 10 years. We've watched volunteers start with a child in second grade and see them through till the high school graduation. But we ask for a minimum of a 1 year match. Why we ask that they be on the island for at least 16 months is sometimes it takes 2 to 4 months to match the child. The youth must desire to be in the program, and the youth must be willing to meet with their big 2 to 4 times a month, 2 to 4 hours each outing. Some of our bigs are also being really creative, and they're taking our littles on virtual outings. Our program is also offering virtual activities, such as we've done a painting activity where all the bigs and the littles went into the Zoom, and we had a famous artist do a painting with them, and they all created the painting that the artist worked with them. It was a sip, juice, and paint with the famous artist from Hilo. This weekend, we are taking the children on a virtual zoo animal sanctuary outing. And we're even looking into doing a cook with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we're making a spaghetti dinner virtually. Now that some things have eased up, some of the bigs might be able even to do it with the little in the home. We're looking into that, but we're being creative. The other thing is that once the big and the little are matched, so how do they get matched? Once we think we found the right big for the little, we'll call the parent up and say, this is the big, and we'll describe the big of where they live, what they're all about, where they work, what their hobbies are, what their personality is like, their weaknesses, their positives. And if the parent says, wow, that sounds like a really good match for my child, then we'll make the match as long as the big is agreeing to the child. Once the match is made, depending on where we are at with our lockdown, they can either be matched in person at the park, or they could be matched virtually on the computer. Once they are matched, then hopefully this match will last for a year, 2 years, 3 years. The little has to be willing and able. If we are stuck with this pandemic still and doing virtual, the little has to be able to work the computer, or the parent has to help them to get them on the computer. But I'm learning that a lot of our kids are pretty tech savvy doing school from home. Parent involvement is a top priority. Our case managers will be calling once a month to check in on how the little and the big are doing. Our case managers are professionals who want to make sure that everything is going smoothly, that there is safety in this match. And therefore, they'll be calling and speaking to the parent. Hey, how's it going? Have you seen any change in your child? What's working? What's not working? How can I best help you? The case manager will also talk to the child. Hey, how's it going with your big brother, big sister? And what would you like to see changed, or what do you really like? The case manager will also call the volunteer and make sure things are going great with them. There are so many phenomenal stories of what this program has done for so many of our children. And now, to me, more than ever, it is so important for these children to have an outlet. So many of them are home all day doing school. And how neat would that be to know that their big brother's going to either call them on their iPhones or talk to them on the computer and do a Zoom call or a Skype call with them and check in and say, hey, how you doing? What's up? What's going on? And they know that that volunteer is going to be predictable, reliable, because we let our volunteers know that that is the most important thing, that these children have had disappointments in their lives. These children have had traumas in their lives. And the last thing we want is to match them with a volunteer that's going to flake out on them. So the volunteer knows that their role is really, really pivotal in this child's life. Do you know of a child that could really use that positive role model? Do you know of a child that is being raised by their mom and all aunties and grandmas and really needs a big brother in their life to do some big brother stuff? Do you know of a little girl who's home all day who just needs a new adult friend? If you know of anyone, please tell them about our program. We'd be more than happy to tell them all about our program and to see if they'd be a good fit. Our bigs are everyday people. They are not therapists. They're not teachers. Sometimes they are, but they're everyday people who are not specially trained in severe cases. They're just people that want to make a difference. They want to be a friend to a child. We screen our volunteers very, very well. We do background checks on them. We do reference checks on them, and we check their driving, etc. We will share with you more about how we do in-depth interviews with our volunteers down the road. But for now, I just want to ask you to take a moment. If you're a teacher, if you have a student in your class that you think could really use a big brother or a big sister, or if you're a parent, do you think your child could use this special friendship? It is not to replace a mother. It is not to replace a father. It is not to replace anybody. It's to add to the child's life. Thank you so much for taking time to listen about Big Brothers Big Sisters. Again, my name is Margaret Cadiz. I'm the program coordinator. And if you have any questions, please feel free to go online, check us out, give us a call, and we're here for you. Let's work together and stay safe. Aloha.